And then this says, find the distance between each pair of points. State the exact distances. That means radical form. So it says exact distances. That's radical form. With simplified radicals. And then approximate. This is calculator. So what they do is, what they want is, they want your answer in two forms, radical and calculator. Radical and calculator. And they say 2 decimal places. Okay. I'm going to assume you can do it on your calculator. We've done it enough as it is. So in this particular instance, it says, find the distance between -4,2 and 4,6. Well, this it doesn't matter who you choose. This is, I'm going to choose this as x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Those are my 2 coordinate points. And the distance formula says I am dealing with the square root of the difference of the x's squared plus the difference of the y's doesn't matter what order you put the x's in, doesn't matter what order you put the y's in, like it does with the slope formula, except because you're squaring it. Now, this says, what's the distance? It's x2 minus x1 squared, so it's 4 minus a minus 4 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, 6 minus 2 squared. Minus and a minus is a plus. So the distance is 4 plus 4, that's 8 squared, plus 6 minus 2 is 4 squared, which is the square root of 64 plus 16, which is the square root of 80. Now at this point you could take the square root of 80 and get your decimal. But they want us to also simplify it. So I need the square in 80. What's the square in 80? 16. 16 times 5. So this is 4 square roots of 5. That's in simplified radical form. And then, like I said, if I were to do this on my calculator, I would just take the square root of 80, because that's what's there, and 2 decimal places, it's 8.94. So this would be approximately 8.94 rounded to 2 decimal places. So they're expecting both answers. The answer I expect on an exam is what I request of you. And it could be radical, it could be decimal, depending upon the problem. Now this one looks really bad. Why would I say this looks really bad? Because of the radical? But it's not. So the distance is the square root of the difference of the x's. So minus 2 minus 5 squared plus the difference of the y's, 0 minus the square root of 3 squared. Now if that y value had been anything other than 0, it would have been unpleasant. But because it is 0, not so much. This is the square root of minus 2 minus 5 is minus 7 squared plus minus the square root of 3 squared, which is the square root of 49 plus, what's minus the square root of 3 squared? 3. Yeah, what you want to think about is what this is telling you. It's minus the square root of 3 times minus the square root of 3. Minus times a minus is a plus. And then the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 3 times 3, which is 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. When you square a square root, it undoes the radical. When you radical a square root a square, it undoes the square. They're the undo button, or the control Z of each other. How do you undo a square? You square root it. How do you undo a square root? You square it. So this is going to be 3, which becomes the square root of 52. Now 52 breaks down.
36 and 2.
No. What's the square in 52? Now, if you play cards at all, how many suits are in a deck of cards? 4. How many cards are in a deck? 52. And that says 4 divided into 52 is 13, because there's 13 cards in each suit. So other than that, we'll have to go down the list of squares. This is 2 then square roots of 13, which is approximately
7, 2, 1.
Can I trust you? Okay, 7.21 as a decimal.